spreadsheet, you've got two options. You can use the worded version and ignore everything I say, or you can listen to and watch the demonstration. We're going to be working with formulas. So to get started, we're just going to copy the table and paste it into our spreadsheet. Copy. When pasting information, we must always start at A1. Good. Now, I need to make sure that I can see all the data in full. And the best way to do this, if you look carefully, you will see there is a dividing line between column A and column B. I'm going to double click on the line. And now that expands out and I can see all the data in column A. I'm going to do just the same for column E. Good. Now, I have three pieces of information that I need to add up. B4, C4, and D4. The answer needs to be recorded into E4. So I make sure that the mouse is in E4 so I can see the dark box around. And then I go to the auto sum. I'm going to click on the arrow just to show that there are various options. I can add, I can do the average, I can do a count, which would be 1, 2, 3. I can look for the maximum, which would be 68. I can look for the minimum, which would be 43. And these are mostly the functions that we use at level 1. But for this one, I just want to add up 43 plus 55 plus 68. So I click on the sum icon. I will see a dancing line around the information as well as the formula. I confirm, make sure that is the formula I want, and if it is, then I hit the enter key. Now I need to copy this, and there's several ways I can do so. I'm only going to show you the best and most efficient way. Click again on the answer, and if you look at the bottom right of the screen, you will see a little disjoint square. Now as I move the mouse towards this little black square, it changes from a white cross into a thin black cross. I click, hold the mouse and drag it down. Voila. Now, I need to check to make sure that I have completed. No, I have one more to fill in. The income. Income is always about the amount of money we have coming in. Sometimes you will be told exactly what calculation to use. Sometimes you would have to decide which is the best. In this case, I need to multiply this 166 by the 9.75. The best way to do this is not to say 166 multiplied by 9.75, but always to use the cell reference. We now need to start this particular formula with an enter. So hit the enter key on the keyboard and then click on E4 with the mouse, and that would actually put in E4 for us in the correct cell. I'm now going to hit the star key, which is the multiply key on the keyboard, and again click using the mouse F4. So now it says E4 multiplied by F4. I'm happy with that. I can hit the enter key. If I type in 166 multiplied by 975, should that number change, my answer will remain. By using the cell reference, the answer will always be up to date and correct, no matter what number is placed into those cells. Now that I have the answer again, I'm going to click on, go to the little black disjoint box, click and drag it down to copy the cell references. And you can see that over here, it changes each time I click on. Okay, so far so good. Now I need to tidy up. And I'm just going to show you a few techniques that will give you maximum efficiency and maximum marks in the exam. We're going to bold this heading, but we're also going to align it so it's nicely in the center across all the cells or all the columns that we're using. So I'm going to click off just to make it easier. I'm going to click and drag the mouse straight across, keep it steady. And once I'm there, I'm then going to go to merge and center. Merge and center. And I'm going to add a little bit of color, not too dark, just enough that will show through even if we use a black and white printer in the exam. Now ticket options as well is going to be bolded. And I want everything apart from the first column to be aligned to the right hand side because the numbers are aligned to the right hand side. So I click on right align. Okay. Now because we're dealing with money, we need to make sure that these cells are what we call currency formatted or formatted to currency. And we can do this inside of number. So far, we have not moved away from the home tab. Click on the little arrow and then I want currency and the category. I want decimal places to be 2, it is. And I want symbol to be pound sign, it is. So I can say okay. That's looking much better. So far, so good. Now the other thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some borders in. Now putting the borders in, I will notice that I've actually not completed. So what I now need to do is to finish off the spreadsheet. My overall income, I'm going to do an income for each of the columns. And here I'm just going to click on auto sum. Dancing light. And I'm going to copy it across. Yep. Even for bookings, I will put in. And then I'm going to do the same for rates and also for income. Okay. Now I could have just done that all in one go. And you can see that the format hasn't carried through here. So I'm just going to click on again. In fact, I'm going to show you a new technique. If I click here, then click on the format painter, which is a paintbrush, and just click and drag, it will put the format in. Good. Now the next thing I need to do before I save is to show my formulas. And to show the formula, I use the control key and the key next to the number 1 key on the keyboard. And you can now see all the formulas are in place. Yep. If I cannot see all of the formula, I cannot be awarded the marks. So it's important that we do that. Now control and the delete key, as we call it, is what we call a toggle, which means that it will go to and fro, to and fro. So as a quick recap, check your spreadsheet, put in some formatting features so we can bold and always, always, always use the merging center. When we're dealing with money, we must make sure that it's showing currency, that is the pound sign, and 2 decimal places. Because our font or the numbers are always right aligned, it is always a good idea to make the headings right aligned. And it's always good to actually make the headings bold. If you want to make the main heading slightly larger, then you can do that too. Okay? Now from here, I need to add my name, etc. But right now we're going to save and we'll take a pause.